What you see here is a motorcycle that Jawa calls the new 42, and this bike will be sold in showrooms alongside the existing 42. Now there are some obvious visual changes, but there are also some changes the company says they've made underneath the skin. So that's what we're going to discuss today. What's new about the new Jawa 42? Internally known as the 42 2.1, where 2.0 was what the company called its BS6 model, the new 42 brings in quite a few design changes, but perhaps the most relevant is the switch to alloy wheels. These black wheels support tubeless tires, and they will be available as accessories to classic Jawa and current Jawa 42 customers as well. Going with the alloy wheels is a blacked out theme on the engine and the exhaust pipes, just like we've seen on the Jawa Perak. There are new wheel stripes and a fat racing stripe over the fuel tank, both of which bear the name Classic Legends, which is probably to remind people about who makes Jawa motorcycles in India. The bar and mirrors you see on this bike are standard equipment, whereas the headlamp grille, small fly screen and that metallic rear rack can all be bought as accessories. Those mirrors do make contact with your hand, but they also work well and they don't get in the way too much while filtering through traffic. Overall, the new 42 carries these changes quite well, and the overall design still looks handsome, with the only eyesore being how much that rear fender sticks out above the tire. The new 42 will be available in red, white and black colors, but if you prefer the classic chrome and silver look of the original 42, that bike will still be available in the showroom in all of its 6 color options. The company has also given the bike a new set of switches, and this little button here reveals that the Jawa finally gets 2 trip meters. Now that about sums up all the changes on the outside, so let's move on to what's happening inside. Jawa says that it has strengthened the chassis in strategic points, and it's also adjusted the preload in the front suspension to reduce the tendency of the bike bottoming out when customers kept the front brake held over speed breakers. Neither of those things is something you'll spot on a spec sheet, but what does catch the attention is that the 42 has lost around 1 kilo of weight. This has been achieved by removing the earlier catalytic converter from underneath the bike and moving them up to where the exhaust pipes emerge from the engine. There have also been some changes within the engine that have actually resulted in a small increase in power, going up by 0.8 horsepower. This has been achieved through further refinements made to Jawa's cross-port technology that debuted in the company's BS6 compliant bikes last year. Essentially, the cross-port system allows the gases emerging from both the exhaust ports in the cylinder head to interact with each other before they exit via the dual exhaust pipes. The latest revisions have further revised the profiles of these ports to make them more efficient. Jawa says that its cross-port technology improves volumetric efficiency and allows for more precise functioning of the lambda sensor. But to put it in simple terms, the logic is that if there's better flow coming out of the exhaust, that means there can be better flow going in through the intake, and that enables the creation of more power. So how does all this translate to the road? Well, the increments are small, but they are noticeable. Whether the bike is actually faster is something only a V-Box test will reveal, but the Jawa's engine does feel a little more involving. The difference is mainly felt in the slightly stronger mid-range, which is a welcome change over the old bike's flat power delivery. Another upside is that the exhaust sound seems to pack a deeper pulse, and it also sounds a little more crisp. The fun factor around corners is better too, because the company has redesigned the side stand so it doesn't scrape quite as easily. The handling is light and eager, and there's quite a lot of fun to be had before the side stand and inevitably the exhausts start to scrape the road. It's not just the dynamics that have improved, and Jawa has also redesigned the seat pan while using a higher density foam. We didn't get enough time with the bike to see what it's like all day, but this seat is undoubtedly much more supportive than the old one. The seat height itself remains unchanged, so this bike still has tight lower body ergonomics for tall riders. It's been a long time since we last rode a normal Jawa, but it's a good reminder that with its low weight and relatively powerful liquid-cooled engine, the Jawa is definitely the most sporty of the current crop of classic bikes. On the other hand, the only really classic thing about this motorcycle is the way it looks. Whether that's a good or bad thing completely depends on what you expect from your motorcycle. Jawa tells us that all the mechanical and feature-based changes you see on this bike will soon be available on the normal 42 and the Jawa Classic. This new 42 will be available only in the dual channel ABS variant, and it will cost about 4,000 rupees more than the existing bike. So there you have it, small changes all over have resulted in a nicer motorcycle. Jawa says it's also increased the number of showrooms across India to 181. But the big issue for this company remains its ability to meet the demand for its motorcycles and to refine the quality levels that are experienced over a long-term period. That's something we really hope to see come from the company over the course of 2021.